As we discussed on Washington Watch earlier, Democrat Louisiana governor, who is a Democrat, John Bel Edwards, recently vetoed HB 648, which would protect children from harmful and permanently life-altering gender procedures, including sterilization and mutilation. And the governor also ignored the will of the people's elected representatives. The state Senate voted 29-10, and the state House vote was 71-24. It was bipartisan across the board, and the governor just threw all of that away. Well, last night, the Louisiana legislature decided to schedule a special override session for next week to enact the will of the people to protect children. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Gene Mills. He's the president of the Louisiana Family Forum. Gene, always great to see you. Welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thank you, Jody. Appreciate all the good work y'all do. It's good to be with you.
Well, listen, and likewise, we appreciate all the phenomenal work you do as well. All right, so let's talk about next week. What do you think we can expect from the lawmakers there in Louisiana?
I expect to frame the issue, number one, and the issue is framed this way. Are groomers' access to Louisiana children legislatively granted or legislatively denied? And we're trying to communicate that across the state. And ironically, that was not our terminology. That was a Democrat House member who in Committee on Health and Welfare on May 2nd cross-examined a detransitioner, and he asked her, do you feel like you were groomed? And she said, well, I wasn't going to use that term because it's so polarizing, but that's exactly what happened to me. I was on an anorexic website or group talk, and some adult transitioners came in and explained to us and made us believe that the reason we can't handle food is because we're trapped in the wrong body. And that's how she was introduced to the surgeries and the hormone blockers. I expect that there's going to be no way that a Louisiana lawmaker who's running for re-election this fall can do anything other than the right thing on this vote.
Wow. Well, Gene, I certainly hope you're right with that, and there are many of us praying in that regard. This override session is a rare thing. I mean, this is not something that occurs very often. And with the rarity of it all is a weight of importance. Just how important is this override session, do you think?
Well, it's only the second or third time that it's happened in some 30, 35 years. And it is rare because Louisiana's governor is probably the most powerful executive member amongst the 50 plus governors around the United States, because they have the power to punish. They have the power of the line item veto. They got the power of removing things from the budget, and also the trinkets that come with boards and commissions being assigned to a gambling control board or board of supervisors over the university system. So for the outgoing lawmakers, and about 30% are retiring because of term limits, they're going home. And his ability to sway or influence is profound. But the lawmakers are resolved that this is too important. Groomers are not welcomed, and harming children is not acceptable. It doesn't matter what title you bear. It's unacceptable.
Absolutely. Well, listen, let's bring this down, because all of us, all across this country, are keeping an eye on this situation. And again, we're so grateful for you coming on. But just a few days before this special session occurs, what is the action items for our viewers, our listeners right now, both in Louisiana and across the country?
I think I would remind everybody that the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous avails much. And we need your prayers. That chamber needs to be filled. It needs to be the House and Senate sanctuary. The presence of the Holy Spirit, the covering and the infilling of prayer that's coming from around the country and in Louisiana is being invited. So we're calling our Louisiana friends, pastors particularly, and their congregants, concerned citizens, come to the Capitol. We're going to fill the place with prayer. The second thing we're going to do is respectfully request that lawmakers do the right thing. And we're going to do that in writing, face-to-face, and through text messages and phone calls that day on the eve of the vote. And finally, we're encouraging people to communicate with their lawmakers prior to Tuesday at noon. That's now between now and Tuesday at noon. It's time to talk and ring their bell.
We've got the phone numbers up for that. The Senate number is 225-342-2040, and the state House number 225-342-6945. Gene, listen, thank you. We are grateful for you, all that you do. Thanks for coming on Washington Watch this evening.
God bless, Jody. I'll keep up the